I think we'll call this public comment public hearing to order, and I'm going to give you the guidelines for public comment. I'm sure most of you already know, but I want to make sure we're clear on it. The public shall be allowed to speak only during the public comment privilege of the floor period of the meeting, or during public hearings, or when they have reserved and been granted time upon the agenda. Speakers must be recognized and step to the front of the room. If you're going to be speaking, I need you to come up and sit at the table so everyone can hear you. Speakers need to give their name, state whether they're speaking as a resident, a member of the public, or for any other person or organization. Speakers will be limited to 3 minutes, and comments unrelated to the subject matter of the public hearing are not allowed. Speakers may not yield any remaining time they may have to another speaker. With the permission of the presiding officer, a board or committee member may interrupt the speaker for the purpose of clarification or information and not for any other reason or to debate or disagree. Such time shall not be counted against the speaker's 3-minute limit. All remarks shall be addressed to the board or committee as a body and not to any member thereof, nor to any member of the public, whether present at such public hearing or not. Speakers shall observe the commonly accepted rules of courtesy, decorum, dignity, and good taste. Interested parties or the representatives may address the board by written communications, and we actually encourage written communication. And written documents and evidence may be submitted as part of the record of the public hearing. So persons who exceed the 3-minute, as you know, we need to be courteous to everyone so everyone gets a chance to speak. So please try not to go over the 3 minutes. Now that we have the housekeeping out of the way, thank you everyone for coming tonight. Appreciate your participation. I'm going to go around the room and I'm going to ask the members that are present to please stand up, the members of the committee. Jerry Hayward, Philip Snyder, Sandy Conlon, Dennis Mogul, Maureen Cowan, Chris Williams, Lynn Davidson. Is there anybody here I missed? If so, raise your hand because I think I got all of you. I'm just going to briefly to let you know who our committee members are at this time. All in all, there were a lot more members on the committee before this, but this is the current committee. I'm Connie Wilcox, I'm the chairperson. The land use and development was Tom Butler, Lynn Davidson, Phyllis Snyder, Joe Wetmore, and Larry Sharpstein, and also Susan Miller before she moved. Housing and neighborhoods was Dennis Mogul and Sandy Conlon. Natural resources environment were Tom Butler, Phil Snyder, and Joe Wetmore. Economic development was Chris Williams, Dwayne Smith, Tom Vigny, Steve Lipinski, and David Moore. Energy and climate change was Philip Snyder and Tom Butler. Agriculture was Skip Hardy, Lynn Davidson, and Monica Roth. Parks, recreation, and pathways, cultural resources and tourism, Maureen Cowan, Philip Snyder, Susan Miller, Ed Levine, Katrina Binkowitz, and Lynn Davidson. The transportation and municipal services and infrastructure, Mike Long, Jerry Hayward, and Joe Shepard. And all in all, there were 27 community members overall. 5 of the planning board members were on the committee at one time, between the last committee and this committee, and of 4 of those members, they had like 61 years of experience, because we have 2 members that have well over 30 years of experience. So I want to thank all of them for all the time they put in. Starting in January, we met twice a month, where the first meeting of the month was like a workshop. They divided up into their individual groups, worked on the parts of the plan that they were responsible for. The next week, the second week of the month, the second Wednesday of the month, we met as a whole group and discussed what had been written the week before, what people thought was good, what people thought was bad. There was a lot of bantering back and forth. Not everybody got what they wanted, but I think that everything turned out pretty well. So the comp plan has been available on the town website. I hope you've all been able to view it there. We have hard copies at the town clerk's office, the town planning department, the town supervisor's office, the Lansing library, and the Lansing Village Hall. And all the current comp plan committee members, the planning board members, and the town board members all have received a hard copy of the document. So, and I've already gone over the ground rules with you for tonight's public hearing. And there are, like I said, there's index cards circulating around out there if you want to give a written comment, or if you want to jot down your thoughts before you get up here. If through the middle of the meeting you decide you want to speak, that's fine. Go back and sign up with Deb, and she will bring us up the paper with your name on it. And at this time, I'm going to turn this over to our planner, Mike Long, and he's going to discuss the comprehensive plan process. But just to give you a little background on Mike, Mike's been with us for 3 years now?
Oh,
Year and a half. Well, it seems like 3, but anyways. So Mike has a lot of credentials, and he has a lot of education, he has a lot of certification, and some of his professional experience has been with Finger Lakes Planning and Development. He's been the city manager for the city of Oneonta, also the city administrator for the city of Poughkeepsie, office of the city manager, interim city manager for Auburn. He's director of capital projects and grants for Auburn. He's on the Department of Planning and Economic Development in the city of Auburn. He's had experience with the Cuyahoga County Planning Board and many other, and I'm sure that he'd be more than happy to discuss his credentials with you if anybody wants to talk with him on them, but he's pretty well qualified, and he's been a great asset to us because he's helped us along with this process. The process was going for 4 years prior to this, and we hope to have this done by the end of the year so the town board can approve it. So we can move forward, and the main reason we want to move forward is because there are a lot of grants out there, there's a lot of monies available, and if we have a comprehensive plan in place as a guideline to where the town wants to see itself, we can apply for some of those grants. So at this time, I'll turn the meeting over to